Hello and welcome back to Shane's Motorhome Diaries. A few things I want to get onto today. First of all is I'm on the way to the auction. Today at BCA Nottingham is 104 motorhomes and caravans for sale. Mixture of dealer, specialist buying companies that buy for the auctions, and of course Black Horse Finance. I do believe Black Horse have only got 3 or 4 motorhomes in themselves, but they've got 45 odd caravans. Great place to buy the auctions themselves, but you've got to do your research. First thing, you want to know what you're looking for, get the layouts right and the model. Auctions at BCA are held once a month, and it is the biggest auction in the country that I am aware of. Held on the second Thursday of each month at 10:30 in the morning. Now, as I said, you need to do your research. First of all, get your model at your price. Then once you get to the auction itself, you need to get to those motorhomes and give them a good look through. Generally, I'd probably say 80 to 90% of motorhomes are bought directly by the trade. Now, for me, that says a lot, because if the trade are willing to buy them, then they're willing to retail them and to sell them on the forecourts. So if they are willing to do that, then that means there is a lot of good motorhomes there to buy. Obviously you will get the odd bad one, but you do get lots of time to have a look around a motorhome. You probably by the time they open them up, you've got between an hour or two to look around them. You can get some great deals from the auction. Just get that damp meter, get round them and have a good look and try everything you can. Obviously you can't plug them in to hookups, and you are very unlikely to have the gas turned on, but generally you can have a good look through things. Set that little bit of a buffer zone where you can afford to do a little bit of work if needed, just to get it back into service, and hopefully you get a good deal. So we'll see how that goes. I like to go to the auctions just to see what prices are like, really, how they're running, and just to get a good feel from the trade and see how everybody's doing. You know, there's not many places where you can get different dealerships into one place at one time in a month, because obviously everybody's running their own business. Leading back to damp, which we were talking about a minute ago, it's something I really do want to stress so much. The most frustrating thing for me is going to buy a customer's vehicle and it's damp. The last thing we want to do is to either walk away from it, which we do quite a bit, or alter the price because of damp. We want and aim to go out to every single motorhome and offer the price that we've agreed on the phone before. Not very often we do alter the price, but if there is something that's quite detrimental to the motorhome, we will have to alter it, which I'm sure everybody can understand. But yeah, the biggest reason is the damp. I'm inclined to say that I'm more bothered about habitation service history than I am about mechanical service history. Motorhomes don't do many miles at all, but they do sit out in the elements, and water does get in. A service every year from new, it just gives you that chance to repair any damp before it gets too far. We did have a motorhome we went out to the other day. It was an older one, it was a 2004, but it probably had £10,000 worth of repairs needed doing to it. And you just can't, at that sort of age, economically repair it, because you're going to be putting more money into the motorhome than it's probably worth. So at least get that damp meter and learn how to use a damp meter. There are good ones, there are bad ones. I mean, we use something called Protometer Survey Master. It's got the 2 prongs at the top, and it's also got like a scanner. That's my choice of what I use, because it especially on the newer stuff, it can be harder to scan, and just invest 300 quid in a damp meter. I know it's a lot, but trust me, if you let your motorhome go 3, 4, 5 years without a service, you could be talking thousands of pounds without. You know, at least if you get it resealed and dealt with straight away, you're fine, or fine most of the time. Next of all, we've got the NEC coming up again next week, the February show. This is the smaller of the two shows, probably not the best of the two, because the October show does the new releases, but it's a great way to get around and get some good deals. Obviously you've got different, each manufacturer's stand has different salesmen from different dealerships. You know, you could go onto Auto Trail, for example, and have 20 different dealers on one stand. It'll look like they're all working for Auto Trail, but they'll be working for different companies. Brown Hills, Go European, whoever. Did speak to Go European recently, and also Premium Motorhomes, and a shout out to a manufacturer in particular is Carado or Cartago, whichever one you want to call it. That is an absolute stunning product. Whereas some manufacturers go up and down in quality, Carado just keeps getting better and better. I know they're up there on the price, but what a motorhome. They do a great layout at the moment. I think it's called the Liner for 2. And that is a new layout, and I'd really check it out if you are going to the shows or if you're going to a dealership. It's probably only been out for the last 2 years or so. You know, there are different manufacturers, Frankia and so on, that use it, but it's almost like a wraparound rear lounge, and I just think it's stunning. That lounge is absolutely brilliant. A lot of them do have 2 seat belts on the back wall, and then you've got the kitchen next up as you head towards the front, and the bathroom on across both sides, shower on one side, toilet and sink on the other, and then you've got like you've got the double bed above the cab, which is nicely segregated. It's hard to explain because it sounds like I'm talking about the U-shaped lounge layouts, but it's completely different. But it's a great layout. It's one that I'd choose, especially as a couple, because that lounge is just amazing. But yeah, Carthago's, what a product at the moment. Probably say half a dozen dealers around the country doing them. Like I said, like Go European or Premium, and they just speak very highly of them at all, and will definitely be up at on their stand at the NEC. Last of all, just want to say a special thanks to Mark for his email on feedback for the motorhome. There's a few recommendations that he put forward. One is a mic, and we do have the fluffy bits as well for when it is windy, because I do appreciate that we do lose some of the speech when we're going around the external parts of the motorhome. We don't always put prices on them, Mark, because we're not always retailing them. Not very often. We do retail, depending on what the motorhome is, depending on where the motorhome goes. As I'm sure you can understand, a bit like the car industry, Ford will only do Ford, Mercedes will only do Mercedes. They're European specialists, and it's the same in motorhomes. You know, you've got dealers that will specialise in certain makes and models, price ranges, and so on. And that's how the motorhome industry goes. As a general rule, I think everything is going well. I think a lot of people actually had record Januaries, which is great. It means everything is picking up, and we shall see what the feedback at the auction is today. Until then, please let us know what you want to hear from the industry as an insider. As I've said earlier, it is very old-fashioned, and there's a lot for the industry to learn. Whereas, when I do my research on how to build the business, I do look at other industries, And I think a lot of the time I look at what they were doing 5 years ago. The car industry is a great example. Look at what they were doing 5 years ago, and that's probably about where the motorhome industry is heading into now. So yeah, so any questions, please let me know. Please give me any feedback. I am new to this blogging thing. I know I know we do the video walk rounds, but I'd appreciate hearing what you have to say as well. And until then, I shall see you next time.